How's it going? This is my vlog for April 12th. It's Saturday, 9:59. So from now on, like, I'm not gonna do business on weekends. That's my rule. Because like paperwork or business or anything, because I have to have somebody to call, you know, like if I'm gonna deal with these MAGA IRS criminals. I have to make my phone calls and call them and stuff because the IRS, I don't think, takes phone calls on the weekends. Yeah, they're saying that I owe $3,000 for 2022 taxes. They do this all the time, and Colorado said I had $450, and I just sent the freaking check in, and now I'm thinking, God damn it, I should have called and made sure, because they're siphoning off my money, trying to make me go homeless. But anyway, yeah, this video is, oh wait, oh man, my mind. I'm gonna keep thinking this video is the tour of my apartment. This is my vlog video. I was going to go on a big bike ride this morning from the morning, but I couldn't sleep last night, and at one point I was about to go to sleep. I was just about to go to sleep. Like I was literally about to cross over, you know, the body shut down, but then my hearing got really sensitive and I started listening to my computer. My computer last night started doing this thing. I mean, it was doing it before, but it would always stop. But last night, and I hope my computer's not about to die, my computer was just going wah, 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 like constantly for hours, and I got to I started to realize it was never going to stop. It was just going to go wah, 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 wah. Even if I put it to sleep, it was still going to make that noise, so I had to shut it completely down. But then by the time I got back in bed, the insomnia kicked back in. So I was just like laying here stretching, but gravity stretching. I guess you call it passive stretching or lazy yoga. Passive yoga, where I just kind of use my body weight to just stretch it out. So I would like lay on my stomach and have my shoulder out like that, and it would be a total stretch, and I just relax into it, you know. And then also laying in bed on my belly with my knees out, feeling that stretch. But unfortunately, I was just laying there with insomnia until probably like 4 in the morning. So then by the time the sun came up, I was still sleeping, and then when I woke up, I was groggy, and so that's why it took me forever to get up. But I had insomnia because I haven't been exercising. If I don't exercise, I guess the energy is too pent up, and I can't. So that's fine. I'm gonna just catch up, you know, and whatever I have to catch up on. For example, right after this video, I'm going to give my very first tour of my apartment. That's going to be really exciting. A video tour for YouTube, and then I can use it to get a roommate. Yeah, but I'll do that on Monday, all the paperwork, and then I'm gonna start advertising for roommates on like all of the different places I can find every single day. Start to take it seriously because my money is critical, and also so that I can be discretionate and pick and choose. I have to be super careful about how I get as a roommate in here because the combination, like I'm autistic. I got diagnosed twice. The combination just between my eccentricity and my website, it kind of makes people crazy. You know, like it's just a little bit too much going on. Like the second to last roommate I had flipped out and thought that he was going to get salmonella from my tortoise, and so he called my mom, and then my mom talked me into selling my tortoise and my tegu. And my tortoise and tegu were best friends inside of my cage, and I was like, this dude's nuts. So I'm not going to get rid of my because they were there before he even moved in, and then he kind of changed his mind. But then somehow my mom likes to side with everybody against me. That's why everybody's so happy about calling my mom. I had another roommate who would do the same thing. And then he moved out, and then he starts calling my mom. Well, whatever. So anyway, so it's kind of a bummer. But now I have a Savannah monitor. Don't get a fucking Savannah monitor, dude. They're so dumb. They're as dumb as a bag of rocks. Tegus, dude. You want a Tegu. They're more tame. I gauge how smart an animal is on how quickly it recognizes that I'm not its enemy. But anyway, and it's sketchy because that freaking thing tries to bite me every time I pick it up. And I never see it. But whatever. It doesn't, it's easy. It's way easier to take care of than the Tegu, though. Because it doesn't need the humidity. But anyway, and it takes bugs, so it's more expensive than the Tegu, but it's less work because you just throw a bunch of bugs in there. You don't have to put like fresh meat in there every day. Anyway, once I saw my Savannah monitor eat a bunch of fresh meat, I should throw fresh meat in there. Anyway, because it hasn't grown like at all since I got it, and I had it like 2 years. But so yesterday what I did was, it was like I was busy all day. I started out with finishing up screwing stuff into the walls, which took a little while. I screwed that up onto the wall, and then a little bit of like, what else did I do? A little bit of finishing. Oh yeah, and I didn't finish cleaning. The place was a mess yesterday morning because I didn't finish. So yeah, I finished sweeping and everything, and that's why I'm going to do my video. It took me forever, but I finally caught up with my apartment. My mom called and like wanted me to have lunch with she and her neighbor over at Smash Burger, so I drove down there and I got a burger and fries and a drink, and it was frickin' $18.50. I'm like, God damn, dude. Hello, inflation, fuck. I was like, but my mom was like, I'll chip in then. So she gave me $4 to help out, but it was pretty good. And then I came back here and she came with me, and we were looking into my, just to see my, my insurance, to see if my insurance had free therapy. She's trying to get me to get therapy, so that but then I was like, why do you want to get me to get therapy? She's like, because we have trouble communicating, because we always like yell at each other. Like, she's always yelling at me, and I'm like, can you please not yell? Can you please not yell? And then I start yelling. She's like, you're yelling at me. So I'm like, yeah, if you want to get therapy for us together, I'll do that to teach us how to communicate. But I'm not going to go in on my own. And my psychiatrist, like, and she wanted to know if I was going to get free drug counseling, because my psychiatrist is 100% certain that I'm not going to be able to quit smoking weed on my own. But the guy I got diagnosed with autism the other day, but he didn't give me my results from the test, but I don't want to see them because they probably weren't very good. Because a lot of it is what your short-term memory is, dude. And my short-term memory is basically non-existent, dude. Like I was actually laying in bed last night thinking, like, yeah, dude, my mind actually slipped. Technically, I think I lost my mind. Like, I got to the point where, and I'm still there now. Like, it'll take a couple of weeks to get it back. I got to the point where my short-term memory was so gone that I was basically spending half the day. Like, I can't get anything done during the day. Like, days go by and I'm like, what did I do? Number one, I can't remember what I did, but I don't get much done because I'm spending most of the time looking for my phone, looking for my keys, looking for my glasses, not remembering what I was going to do, looking for things, and looking for my phone like 5 times a day, like losing it 5. And luckily I have the Find My Phone feature. But I'm like losing my, like, everything else 5 times a day. So I'm just like frantically running around looking for things. And then when I want something, like the other day, I thought I was going to have to use a extension cord. But then I decided I wasn't going to have to use it for the Dremel tool. I was just going to screw stuff through the rug, but I couldn't find my extension cord, and I'm like, but I know, like a couple of days ago, I hung it up on the wall. And so I looked all over my apartment, couldn't find it, couldn't remember where I put it. So then I had to ride my bike to my mom's house to borrow an extension cord, came back, and then last night, as I was like moving around, I saw the extension cord hanging up there next to the cage. I'm like, well, god damn it, you know? And then I bought a new helmet the other day because I couldn't find my helmet. I looked everywhere for it, and then I looked, it was on top of the bookcase right next to the bikes, and then I remembered putting it there. And then yesterday I was cleaning. I was mopping the floor, and I have this solution, the third vinegar, third rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, and third water mixture to clean the wood floor with, synthetic wood floor. And I put it down on this little table next to my tank there, next to my couch. Yeah, and I was like, okay, putting that there, and then like just to do one thing, and then I was like, okay, where'd I put it? I forgot, and I was just frantically looking all over the house for like 5 minutes, and I'm like, how could it possibly be gone? Because I'm like that happens like a dozen times a day. I'm running around the house like, where the hell did it go? How could I have hid it from myself? This is just a tiny little apartment. How could I have hid it? How could I hid it? Yeah, and then I found it. I found that, and then I find it. I bump into it, or I give up. So it's like I'm looking, then I give up on finding something. You know, even though, and so then, yeah, I found that isopropyl alcohol, and the solution. I was able to finish cleaning. When I picked it up, I remembered, like the memories come back, you know, and then I remembered putting it there. So, yeah, it causes me to not be able to get anything done, like whatsoever, because I literally don't know where anything is, because my mind is 100% gone. Zero short-term memory. I don't remember what I did, and then I can't remember what I did that day. So, yeah, and then like paperwork. I can't do paperwork because I can't remember, and so yeah, it's definitely time. And yeah, but I was laying in bed last night thinking about, you know, my mind doing that, and it gave me it was actually a physical sensation, dude, in my brain. I was like I could feel my brain actually slipped. You know, like when bodybuilders are doing bicep curls, and then their bicep tendon snaps off their bone. It was like that. My brain became detached from my skull and started spinning around in my skull. Yeah, like, you know, like if you're holding on to something and then you lose your grip and it falls away, like that kind of a thing. Straight up slipped. Yeah, so I'm done with that. So yeah, I honestly don't see myself smoking weed again, because the only reason I kept smoking weed was to help me organize, and I'm done organizing. And it's ironic to think in retrospect that smoke it to help me organize, because all it does is take my memory away, so I can't organize, but it would like take the edge off. But my mom gave me this stuff called it's flower water. It's kind of like aromatherapy, but it's for ingesting. And it's made out of passion fruit flower water, and it's supposed to relax you and stuff. So anyway, yeah, so my mom left, and then I was like, we were here just figuring out, researching and I think I have free drug counseling too, but I don't need to do that. I'm not going to smoke weed again. Marijuana is not addictive. It's you're never addicted to the marijuana. You're addicted to having the edge taken off, because whatever you're doing is stressful for whatever reason. So just take the edge off, and then you know, there's no like, the only addiction of marijuana is you have that thought like, isn't this normally when I smoke weed, you know? We'll just choose to not smoke the weed. But anyway, as I was walking her out, I was like, let's go on a walk. She's like, I'm tired. She does that all the time. She's like one of the laziest person I've ever met. Always comes up with an excuse to not exercise. She was always obese growing up, and my dad was an alcoholic, the least athletic people ever. But she she got on a not Ozempic. She got on trizipatide and lost like 50 pounds last year. But she doesn't have the money to stay on the trizipatide, so she has to get off. So, but she's hoping that the trizipatide habits will help her not eat. But so I'm gonna stay on her ass for the exercise, because if I don't make her do it, she doesn't do it. So I talked her into doing a walk, and we started walking, and then I'm like, hey, let's do the mile. Because there's this mile. This is so freaking magical. Dude, I need to keep my apartment. This is the most magical apartment. That's why I need to get a roommate, because the IRS is trying to kick me out. See, I found Atlantis, and I'm telling everybody about that, and so I have a big old target painted on my chest. I'm going to buy a t-shirt with a target on my chest and start wearing it around. But yeah, they do that all the time, and I need to get like, and now it's World War III between me and the IRS. I have to like document everything. And whenever they give me these phantom charges, it's not just the IRS, it's the Colorado Revenue Service too. I paid them $450 a couple weeks ago because they were like, you have to pay us that. I'm like, what the fuck? I do my taxes right every year with H&R Block anyway. So I have to be organized with that. But anyways, she was going down. I'm like, hey, let's do the, oh yeah, so the apartment, because I ran 10 miles the other day in 2.5 hours. So I walked 10 miles the other day, but I was bouncing and moving my arms around. I was trying to run. I looked like a 90-year-old trying to run. But if I were to run 10 miles now, I would do it in under 2.5 hours. I'd probably do it in like 2 hours, 20 minutes or something. But yeah, I'm like, hey, let's do the mile, because the course that I did, I found out was a mile. I didn't even know. And then I realized it was exactly a mile. Like if I do at the bike, so I go to a bike park pump, and then I come back the other way. I do it clockwise, and if I go at the bike park, if I go around the block on the inside, it's slightly under a mile. So if I come back and it's like 0.96 of a mile, then when I do the next lap, I just go around it on the other side of the road, on the far end, and it's slightly above a mile. And so I can fine tune it. It's so crazy. It's so cool. But so I told her that, and I'm like, oh, we got to do it. So she's like, all right, we'll see. So I was telling her about all the cool, like, things about aliens I learned on YouTube the last couple days, because I've been out of the loop on that for a while, and she was interested like about how Bigfoot's from a parallel Earth where they never, where the Anunnaki never came and spliced Homo erectus with Anunnaki to create us, where they allowed Homo erectus to just evolve naturally. And so those guys, it's a parallel universe that's so close that they bleed through, and that's why we see them. Same thing with the like, the Anunnaki or the reptilian aliens were here, are pissed. I heard this from David Wilcock, was getting interviewed by Danica Patrick. Humans brought the moon here 65 million years ago. And my own personal opinion is that they've also put a giant gyroscope on the inside of it to keep it facing us the whole time. And they set it far enough away so that it's the same exact size as the sun, so that they could bring apart like a new ice age to kill off and bring a comet. And they also brought a comet to kill off the dinosaurs, to bring mammals to take over the earth. But the dinosaurs were already, the reptilian people who were from Orion had already seeded the earth and were already growing humanoids. And so they had basically felt like they had the earth stolen from them by humans. And they moved underground. They're still pissed about it to this day, and they're trying to like kill us and stuff. And so, anyway, I believe all that. Yeah, but she was fascinated with that. See, that's how you do a bike. That's how you do like a walk with an old person. Just talk to them, talk their ear off, so that they're not focused on like getting tired, and they're just focused on what you're saying. Yeah, and I kept her entertained, and we did the entire mile. It was so cool. Walked a mile. She's 83 and walks with a cane, so you know. And when we got back here, she was like, "Oh, that was fun," you know. Like she didn't look tired at all. It was awesome. So anyway, then I came back here and I was like trying to organize and stuff and clean, and then I stretched. I was like trying to look at the bike ride I was going to do today. I was going to do I was hoping if I could get early enough, I was going to do a 106-mile mountain bike ride, where I go down south and then up north. And yeah, and so if I get tired and don't want to do the whole 100, I can just do 50 because it's like half of it is south. It's a dirty Morgul Bismarck in the south, and then and then the up in the hills, which I've never even done before. Those didn't exist before. And then up north on other trails I've never done. Yeah, and then I laid down, but then I had the insomnia. I was just laying here. And so, whatever. So, I had dreams last night. So that's cool. I don't remember anything about them, but I remember I had dreams. So that's really cool. Like my brain got so melted, I couldn't even remember that I even had a dream. So, you know, so the next step is to actually remember the dream and then to talk about the dream. So I'm excited because life gets super trippy. Like if you're a psychonaut and you want to trip balls, like don't do drugs. Like you're best off not doing any drugs at all ever because you're going to remember your dreams. And the more you remember your dreams, dude, the more you're tapping into parallel universes, basically. Because I have dreams all the time of like, well, not now when I'm not smoking weed. It seems like half of my dreams are like of places that exist, but it's basically in a parallel universe because, and always the place that I'm dreaming of and the dream, it's bigger than in real life. So it's like, I'm dreaming of the future. But you know, in my dream, the technology is the same. So maybe it's like I'm dreaming of like a more advanced version, you know? Because like, there's two ways to looking at progress, at evolution of like a society. One of them is future. You progress through the future. But another way is a perfected timeline. You know, it's like you have new universes being created all the time, one after the other. And as you go along in the parallel universes that are younger, the younger parallel universe you get to is better. Like they work out the kinks. So like maybe a bad parallel universe that happened before us that we don't have to deal with was when like there was like a nuclear war. Oh yeah, well like with the Z's, where they destroyed the Zetas, where they destroyed their Earth, and then they have to move underground, and they weren't able to have babies in natural ways, so they had to do the cloning, and then they weren't able to do cloning, so they had to go into our dimension to take our DNA. That was like one of the earlier ones that were totally messed up. And then, you know, we're like halfway between. We're like the ones where Atlantis got destroyed, but come now, you know, we're maybe gonna manage to make it through history this time with the help of aliens. And then maybe in another future parallel universe, if you want to call it that, a more advanced parallel universe is the one where Atlantis was never even destroyed, and it still exists now, and we all evolved perfectly, and so we're way ahead. And so maybe I'm just dreaming of like future parallel universes, more developed ones. And so it's like Earth here, and it's like the same level of technology, but everything's bigger and more developed because it's like healthier or something. I don't know. Or maybe sometimes it's in the future. But yeah, I don't recall having dreams of the future, like when there's technology that doesn't exist. But anyway, so that's cool. So yeah, so what I'm going to do today is do my little video of my apartment, and that'll be actually a sense of accomplishment because I've never done that before. And then, yeah, I'm going to go on a bike ride. Because my new rule of thumb is only having fun on the weekends. I'm going to start thinking like everybody else. I didn't get my letter of hiring yesterday like I was supposed to. So I'll get on humanity and see if I still have, if I'm, like maybe I'll get on the humanity and I'll have to find out that way. Like maybe they decided not to hire me, which won't surprise me at all. Because I don't know what it's like to be hired or have friends or like get a roommate or anything. Or not be harassed by the IRS. You know what I mean? Like I'm like the villain, the great villain of society because I have a website and because I found Atlantis. If that's the case, I'm gonna have to start looking for work again. Which is not going to be fun because it's just all day long filling out applications and never getting hired for anything. And hiring, but there's one place, Brookdale Senior Living, after I got my HELOC extended, and I only have $15,000 left to borrow on that. And that's if I don't pay the fucking IRS this third $3,000. So, yeah, but after it was too late and thought I was going to do this mountain bike job, I got a message on my phone. Finally, after 3 months last year and 3 months this year, looking for jobs left, right, and center, here and all over, all around, any job, dude. I'll list the jobs I applied to. I got a call for the Brookdale to take care of the old people, so maybe I'll call them back, and they won't have changed their minds about me or something like that. But oh yeah, and I also don't get donated to my website. That's another thing that's immune to getting. But, I'm not like complaining. I'm not, if you think I'm bitching, I'm not. I'm just, because I would start complaining after I, walk the talk. My website's designed to, you ride a bike and you read. And I saw something, ride read. I was like, what? Ride read? Yeah, that's a new thing. That's going to be the new thing, ride read. But, yeah, I was going to listen to, all of the different, because I'm about to ride and listen to a book and talk about the book at the end of the ride and all that kind of stuff. And I barely have the money to even do that. I wish that was my job, but I have to do it, I've even done it once. And so today I was going to listen to the decades, all of the decades and centuries on Wikipedia from history. I played it and recorded it and turned it into MP3 files, and they're on my computer. And then I'll do like different. Oh, and I was also going to experiment with. I was going to listen to Plutarch Moralia today, on LibriVox, and just see if if there's enough internet to be able to do it. I should call my service provider and see if like I have like unlimited internet. I don't want to get raped up the ass by that. Maybe that's one reason I have money problems. I'm listening to too much music in the cell phone. But and if that doesn't work, I can I would like drag and drop the file of a book, and I have those actually on my computer on the external onto my on my cell phone, and I can just listen to it off of the hard drive of my cell phone like the decades are. And then you would just delete the book after, so you don't fill up your phone. So, but I was going to experiment with the internet thing today, and if that didn't work, I could do the decades, yeah. And then you talk about it every day. Because now that I'm going to be sobering up on weed, I'm going to be wanting to talk about stuff all the time. Like after I do this video, I'm going to do a video to saying how we all need to have our own houses. We all need we need to design a society where people own their houses. I feel like I was going to say something. I guess not. So, so as far as Atlantis goes, what was the theme about Atlantis? There's lots of different themes of Atlantis. So I was going to talk about Atlantis every day because because I found Atlantis, and I have this thing like I found Atlantis and I have the location. And then when they click on it and they look and they see the Bahamas, I hope they don't think like, oh yeah, the Bahamas are Atlantis, because that ain't what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the location I gave is the exact temple up the side of Atlantis. Because, and I got so good that I could find the Temple of Poseidon from space. Because I could see the island of Atlantis from space. It's the biggest, lightest, island from space, ever in the world. So you just go down to the Bahamas, you see that big island, the underwater island, and then you go into the, and then you zoom down to the general, and notice nobody's commenting on my video. I'm the only one still, to this day, who believes that that's there. It's like everybody's still hypnotized. And there's all these people who are like, I'm a remote viewer. Oh yeah, you're a remote viewer, are ya? Then how come you can't remote view Atlantis, dumbass? I don't think these are remote viewers like they say, or they're like, or remote viewing like it's extremely limited of what they're remote viewing, because I'll get back to that. In fact, I'm going to make a YouTube video titled, why in the fuck all these alien people believing in aliens are fucking right-wing MAGA motherfuckers. It makes no sense. But, yeah, you just zoom into the Bahamas, and then you zoom into the general area of where the city is, and then you can see the city. You can see the circle, like it's clear as day, dude. And it's the exact same size as what Plato said. This is why they depixelated the region. There's no denying. You pixelate, and I even have it screen captured because they accidentally, during an update, pixelated it again, because it's already pixelated. The way that they depixelate it is they put these they put the masks, these little round masks over. But now they're starting to get really sophisticated, where they're like, you can't even see the edges of the masks, and they're even rebuilding features a little bit to try to make it look like it's detailed. It's really fucking pathetic, or not pathetic. It's ridiculous what they're doing. Well, pathetic because they're afraid, Pathetic is like not trying, but from laziness or also fear. But yeah, so you zoom in and then you see the big wall, which nobody believes me, or nobody cares. But then once you can see the wall, you can then see the smaller circle almost as clearly. So then you zoom into that, and then you can see the building. You can see the Temple of Poseidon clear as day. And I was just this game that I was playing, and I was like doing it every day. That's why I found it in August when it was depixelated. Like, if you fools ever actually accidentally depixelate Atlantis again, there's a pretty good chance I'll find out about it. Because I'm always there, like, looking at it like, God damn it, still depixelated. Why in the hell would they do that? And why does nobody care? And then it causes me to not get hired for a job anywhere. And to possibly get pre-hire fired. Like, I'm almost half expecting I'm getting pre-hire fired. And then the IRS fucking come after me, make up stories that I have to pay them taxes fucking 2 and 3 times again. And then auditing me 3 years later. Like, they're telling me I didn't pay taxes in 22. Back in 2011, they were telling me I never paid taxes in 28. In 2008, and I had to prove to them by printing my entire. And if I hadn't done that, I would have had to pay taxes again. I had to send in my entire stack of tax return to 3 different places. Like, they were deliberately making me do it. They were like, oh, oops, no, not Ogden, Utah. It's actually Fresno, California. Oops, not Fresno, California. It's actually Salt Lake City. Oh my God. And then they finally let me go, and now they're coming after me from 2022. That's what happens, dude. You point a big ol' target on your chest if you do that. Like, try it. Get out and start saying that Atlantis is in the Bahamas, and you're going to find yourself homeless in a couple of months. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, Atlantis, just general Atlantis. And there's lots of themes. I was gonna have like a theme to touch on every day, but I keep forgetting. Um, 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 huh. Well, damn it, I forgot. It was just at the tip of my tongue. My brain's still not totally back yet. Um, but, um, whatever, I guess that's that. So, I did find Atlantis, and I'll put the location of it again. And I wasn't even looking for it. The funny thing is, the interesting thing is that, oh yeah, I keep thinking of other things. That I'm not even like a conspiracy theorist. I'm not an alien guy. I was like 10, 15, 30 years ago I was, when nobody was talking about it. But now people are getting interested in it. And so I'm not interested in that stuff at all anymore. I don't even listen to it. I don't care. That's why I heard that stuff for the first time. But the other day. But yeah, I'm a mainstream historian. And the whole reason that I built Atlantis, and I'm saying that Atlantis is there, isn't from like that angle. It's because I know that it's there, and if I know it's there, then I need to say that it's there. But I found the city on accident. I was going to do a kayak trip there, through there, and I was looking at the region, and I saw the circle, and then I researched how big it was, because I was like, is that Atlantis? Because I knew the Bahamas was Atlantis. Anybody with common sense knows the Bahamas is Atlantis. I always knew that. But then I was like, holy shit, is that the city? And then which you idiots don't care about. That's why I'm saying it every day. I'm just going to rub it in your face. That's like the only thing I care about is Atlantis. Because I found it, not because I'm like alternative history guy. But, and it turned out to be the same size. And I was like, oh my God. And that's when I realized, but then I forgot about it. But then I decided to build Atlantis there again because Plato gave such a detailed description. I just had no choice. I had to build it. Because Plato gave enough. Like, let me tell you what, I guess today's theme was all the freaking detail that Plato gave. And if you look at my Google Earth, I'll YouTube it and Instagram it and Facebook, and TikTok, all of my Atlantis as soon as I get around to it. I don't know when that will be, but I have one screen capture of it on my Instagram. But Plato said how big the island was, but we don't need to know that from him, because you can look at the island and it's the same exact size. 3,000 stadia by 2,000 stadia. A stadia is 185 meters, 350 by 550 kilometers. But he said how big the city was. He said how big those rings were and the water moats and everything. He said how wide the canal was that came from the edge of the city. He said how far the city was from the coastline. And the city, this ring city, is exactly that far from the coastline. 80 stadia, 13.5 kilometers. He said how long the canal was. He said, I think how wide the canal was. He said how many, I think it was 100,000 lots. He said there were 100,000 lots of equal size. Democracy, not wealth discrepancy, huh? Because everybody here, like I remember hearing that idiot Patrick Bet David, and that dude is going to die of a fucking stroke next year, Vinny. With Sam Cedar, and Sam Cedar's like, don't you guys realize that America was the best off in the 50s, 60s, and 70s when, after World War II, when we kept the tax rate that we used for World War II to win the war at 90%? You tax billionaires, millionaires 90% after every penny that they make after 400,000, which is modern day like $1 million a year. And then that's what caused the growth of America. And then Patrick Bet David, are you sure that's what Americans want, though? It's like, really? Are you sure that Americans want to the poor ass Americans bitching about money all the time don't want to tax the rich? And I'm sure what was going on in that idiot Patrick Bet David's head was, yeah, because the poor Americans, they want the opportunity to become filthy rich, way richer than everybody else, so that they can get even richer. Really? No, that's not what Americans are going. How? I'm sure a lot of idiots, like in the sane asylums, are doing that, but like, no, they're not like, oh man, yeah, if I can swing it, I'll swing it real good, and then I'll get so rich, and then I'll be like a billionaire. Dude, like, I saw this kid with a billionaire interviewing some billionaire, and he was like from Ukraine or something, and he had a thick accent, and somehow apparently he became a billionaire by renting, and he just rented. He was so good at renting, and he makes all his money from renting. That Robert to renters, how fucking pathetic! You make your money from being a slumlord. That guy Robert Kowalski, a Rich Dad Poor Dad guy, makes his money from renting 6,000 apartments to people. Anyway, so you're responsible for having 6,000 people not have any control over their own lives. They can't decorate their own house. You can kick them out whenever you want. You're a piece of shit. So, yeah. So, anyways, what was I talking about? Oh, God damn it. I thought I was going to be able to get back to what I was talking about, but my brain is too melted. See, and usually to get back to what I was talking about, I backtrack, but my brain is so bemelted, I can't backtrack. I don't remember anything that I was talking about. Yeah, I can. All the different reasons that that Plato said was why Atlantis was there. So you know how far it is from the sea? And then and then it was the 100,000. Oh, right, the 100,000 for democracy, proving that there's democracy. There were classes. They had 6 different classes, and he even said the different classes there were. A warrior class was one. They were, according to Plato, a warrior society. They were having war with Athens at the time when they got destroyed. They were trying to take over Athens. It was like they were trying to invade Athens. They were like one of these malignant empires trying to take over the world. But oh yeah, but so I guess that's all Plato said. But if you combine it with what you can see on the map, it fits in with what he said, because he's like the mountains were to the north of the plain, the big plain on the south, and that's the flat part on the south of the underwater part of Atlantis, and then the mountains on the north would be Andros. But if you can't see it anymore because they depixelated, and none of you idiots care because I'm the only one complaining about it. But the water is so shallow that you can see the features like it's not even underwater. And so you can see sand dunes. So they used to have sand dunes right next to lakes. You can see the lakes that they used to have. You can see the canals go into the lakes and through the lakes. And then various different canals. You can see the canal, the width of the canal, the ridges of the canal, which just look like one between Australia and Tasmania also. But they probably depixelated that by now too. And the straight turns of the canal, but then you can see all these buildings that are perfectly square, white buildings, and I have them located. And so I built Atlantis up. I already built it. The only difference is that my Atlantis is 20 kilometers to the west of where the real one is. But so yeah, that was really cool. But my point is that I did that from the perspective of just a standard mainstream historian, because people look at Plato as a mainstream historian. But then I know what your idiot excuse is. Oh, Plato was just joking. Well, that's why Plato said before he told the story that it wasn't a joke. He specifically went out of his way to go, oh, and by the way, this is history. It's not like a joke. And so if you want to say, oh, it's a joke, well, then you could say Plato was joking when he said he wasn't joking. All right? So then I don't know. Well, so then there's no. We're not tethered to reality anymore. Because anything anybody says, you can just go, oh, you're joking. You go, oh no, but I'm not joking. Oh, you're joking, saying that you're joking. Okay. So anyway, so that's basically the theme of Atlantis for today, is that all the detail of the area. So but yeah. But anyway, like I said, I'm mainstream, dude. Like, so I'm not even into that alien stuff. I mean, I like it for the spirituality of it, the parallel universes, thinking about that. But I think that people need to, because then people are going to get hung up on evil aliens and evil versus good, and then of course it doesn't help you politically, because most of those fucking morons are MAGA anyway. Right? And so it's like the MAGA people are more alien than the hippies. Hippies are like left-wing hippies who believe in fairness and equality and justice for all, are like Not interested in aliens at all. That ain't what our problem is, dude. Wealth discrepancy is. So, yeah, I think people should be directed more towards studying just mainstream history that we can all agree on, consensual reality, stuff you can find in Wikipedia. And so that's what I'm going to talk about when I do videos, just history videos, history books that I read. Yeah, but I'll do a video specifically about this after I do this video because but I'll talk about it a little bit now because like so I was listening to David Wilcock talking to Danica Patrick, and he was saying a lot of cool stuff that I didn't hear before. Because a lot of people who are like insiders talk to him and tell him stuff, and so he knows stuff. But he knows stuff because they tell him. And then he'll go around, and then he'll turn around and say something about how like the COVID hoax and the vaccine hoax and like the you know, Donald Trump, things directing people to be friendly towards Donald Trump. And I think and the Republicans, I think he even said something like that. And then Danica Patrick, who likes to interview people talking about aliens. And then she'll go and interview people who only want to trash the left and try to make Donald Trump out to be some kind of like a freedom fighter. Because I saw bits and pieces, not very much, just bits and pieces of when she interviewed David Icke. And he's saying that all the whole like COVID hoax, and then and then like Trump is like trying to shake up the deep state, and who else? Yeah, a bunch of other people. And then she interviewed some lady who's like, why I left the Democratic Party. And then it's like Joe Rogan. It's like they're getting paid. They're probably getting paid by some billionaires. And they're just veering people off to the right. So it's like all for nothing. You talk about ancient civilizations and aliens and parallel universes and all this kind of stuff. And they're like, yeah, and that's why you need to vote Trump to become a totalitarian dictatorship and have people like me get targeted by the IRS. So I can't even move out of my apartment like right after I freaking set it up. Because I can't afford to live here because the IRS is sucking all my money from me, even though I do pay taxes, and I'm not even against taxes. Taxes are awesome. We need taxes. But I had written on my LinkedIn, taxes will be the death of us. And then people are so dumb. They're like, oh, you don't like taxes. No, dude. It's the overhead. It's easy to bust out. It's just easy to you just reduce the overhead. I was talking about like schools, people forcing people into schools, and making people taxing for all that stuff, because there's all these different ways that you can streamline society by doing self-education. And I never figured out how much the taxes we do with the schools, but it's fucking insane. The buildings and all that. That's what I meant. Because a lot of people are like against taxes, like Peter Schiff. He's some like rich Wall Street guy, and he's against taxes because his father was like philosophically against taxes and went to jail because he didn't pay his taxes. Like Wesley Snipes goes to jail because he don't pay. Like these idiot celebrities like Wesley Snipes and Shakira who go to jail because they get in trouble because they deliberately don't pay their taxes. I do pay my taxes, and then they just double tax me. So anyway, but that's not because taxes are bad. It's because you can't get these. They're people who want to be king, and so anyway, that's another video I wanted to do, and then I wanted to do another video about houses. People should own their own houses. Yeah, so I guess I'm getting caught up. See, it takes forever to get caught up on all this stuff. So that's what I'm going to do today. As soon as I'm done talking, then I'm going to eat, and then I'm going to get on my, there's a bunch of bikes that I've never even done a ride with, because I bought all these bikes. I got a hardtail cross-country mountain bike. And so 29-inch mountain bike with hydraulic brakes and just the single front chain ring. So it's like the modern design, the Orbea Carbon. It's like 26 pounds. I got it for $700 over at Boulder Community. And it's like brand new. Yeah, man. Dude, bikes are so cheap now. I got a badass rear suspension recliner for $150. This is what I've been spending my HELOC loan on. Because I got hired as a mountain bike specialist. Supposedly got hired as a mountain bike specialist. So I was like, all right, I'm all in. I'm going to do the best job I can do at my job. So, you know, I kind of justified it, and I'll make the money back from my job to pay for the bikes, and then I'll go and get, you know, a job after that. But I should have asked for more on my HELOC loan. I do feel bad. I only asked for $70,000. So yeah, I don't know where I'll ride, but yeah, just go do some ride somewhere. So maybe I'll ride up north, on the ride I was going to do anyway. Yeah, I think I'll do that. But, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, but I want to do those videos first. And 3 videos. Everybody should have a house, fucking MAGA alien people. And the other thing, which I can't remember, but I'll remember it. Yeah. And so, yeah, if you're MAGA, dude, and you're subscribed to me, like, I think my YouTube, I got my main YouTube, all the subscribers I got. I think, unfortunately, a lot of those people turned into MAGA because I was like, a lot of people watched me because of my van dwelling. And a lot of van dwellers are poor, and a lot of poor people are uneducated, and a lot of educated are right wing. And so I got all these like right wingers who then are also into aliens. It's like, dude, if you're a right winger and you're into aliens, we're not compatible because you're a goddamn moron. The Republicans and Donald Trump with all their lip service to the rich billionaires, I mean, come on. It's just clear as day. If you don't like wealth discrepancy, then don't lick the butthole of the billionaire. Like, Donald Trump is like interviewing, and I guess I'll include this in the video about MAGA, but some fat-faced, ugly-ass, bald, stupid-looking billionaire. I think he was one of the PayPal mafia, going on about how we need to dismantle the federal government because and he talks exactly like Elon Musk and Peter Thiel. None of those fucking idiots know how to talk. They stutter. He's like, 300 government agencies. 300. Did you know, Joe Rogan? 325 government agencies. The waste. Like, what? Dude, we're 3,000 miles across, 330 million people. And you're all butthurt over 330 agencies. You probably have more than 330 people wiping your ass around your mansion, you motherfucker. Yeah, you use that. That's called progress. That's called a more developed society with more intricate workings and checks and balances. He's like, didn't you know that there's 3 governments? Why is there 3 governments within one government? That's the waste. All of the argumentation between the Lord and Savior God President with this Congress, and then you have Senate that you have to have them all agree, when it could just be with Lord and Savior King God Trump. And then it's so fast, and then we fix all of the waste, fraud, and abuse. Yeah. So, dude, Elon Musk is busting into everybody's Social Security so they can do what they're doing to me. Tell everybody that they didn't pay their taxes and suck the dry, just double, triple charge and throw in jail for tax fraud, supposed tax evasion or whatever. They're political enemies, and then and then fill in the old posts with people who aren't even educated, so that they just do what Lord and Savior God Trump says. And then you can just, and the entire IRS is infiltrated with MAGA, so then you can just make up stories about people not paying their taxes. So anyway, that's for the next video. So I think that's enough vlogging for now. I'm gonna go and do the tour of my apartment, so I can maybe get a roommate and take seriously on Monday. I'm gonna just do nothing but I'm gonna go riding today, riding tomorrow, and then Monday it's all paperwork. DVR. Trying to enroll with to get my classes 10, 11, 10, 31, so I can be a preschool teacher next year. Preschools are infiltrated by women who are not bright, dude. We need to get some men in there and boost up the intelligence of the children. Yeah, trying to find a roommate. The tax problem I have, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, these fucking pieces of shit, they sent out the letter on the 24th of March, and they say that I have to pay by the 14th of April, or they're gonna garnish my income and seize my bank account. So they give you like a week, like it's on Tuesday, and I only opened up the letter like on Thursday. So it's like, what if somebody's on vacation, and then they open up the letter and it's like the past due. They're still on vacation. It's like, what happened to my bank account? Oh, right, the IRS decided that 3 years ago I didn't pay my taxes and that I had a week to pay. Like, since when did the government start doing that, dude? I thought when you go to court, they give you like 3 months to prepare and stuff. It's MAGA. That's where it came from. So fuck you, MAGA, you motherfuckers, ruining the whole planet. So, yeah, in fact, we're headed to World War III, according to Bashar. Bashar said before the election happened that if Kamala Harris won, it was open contact and world peace, but if Trump wins, it's World War III. So it's not going to be a hot war, because I guess the aliens won't let us use nuclear wars. But it's not going to be a nuclear war, because the aliens won't let us use nuclear weapons. But it'll be a full-blown hot war. Like with missiles and guns and millions of people dying because of Donald Trump. So anyway, David Wilcox says something interesting, that he was told that we were going to have a pole shift. A bunch of people were going to die if we didn't forgive Bill Clinton. But we did forgive Bill Clinton, so we didn't have the pole shift. That's an interesting concept. But it also says that how freaking close we are to a catastrophe, dude. Like one person non-forgiving, one person doing something mean or whatever. And all the hatred that Donald Trump is stirring up, we could tip it over and cause that. Anyway, but yeah, Jane Roberts and Seth was talking about how the mind and collective mind can influence the weather, and was giving specific examples. But anyways, that's enough talking. Yeah, I'll get going on my apartment video now. Talk to you tomorrow.